Good morning, Vanchians. Another beautiful day has begun as we continue our pursuit of achieving Type 1 status. It is good to have a mission in life to work towards. However, not everyone can consciously focus on doing the right thing every moment of the day. Sometimes people simply want to relax and live their lives peacefully. What we aim to achieve in Vanchi is a society where, simply by living your regular life, you automatically contribute value to society. Your positive actions should arise naturally, like instincts, rather than feeling like forced responsibilities. That is what we constantly strive toward in Vanchi. 2. Productive living through AP optimization. With AP optimization support, even the beginning of the day becomes productive. When I step into my bathroom, everything I need is already there. Soap, shampoo, conditioner, face wash, moisturizer, makeup products for my wife. We use weight containers dedicated to every item. The original plastic packaging is emptied and returned to the manufacturer directly at the shop itself. Only our transparent reusable containers with clear labels come into the home. These containers continuously measure the quantity of the product inside them. As they begin nearing empty, they automatically notify us. The AP team has also helped optimize our living space so that every item is clearly visible, easily accessible, placed instinctively. Saving even 5 seconds repeatedly across hundreds of daily actions eventually saves a significant amount of time and mental effort. We no longer stress ourselves searching for misplaced objects. The indoor sensory dome remembers locations for us. If we forget where something is, we first try finding it ourselves. But as a last resort, we can simply ask the dome through voice command, and based on its recorded memory, it tells us exactly where the item is located. The sensory dome also assists in early home maintenance, helping identify issues before they become expensive problems. 3. The Mayor's workspace and data intelligence. Inside my home, I have a completely enclosed office space with only one entry door. Every wall inside functions as a touchscreen display. All city statistics are displayed there in real time. Using voice commands, touch interaction, directed hand gestures, I can organize the information into a personalized dashboard. The Navigator AI system helps me view the same data from multiple perspectives. Time spent in that room allows me to think deeply and understand the city beyond surface level numbers. 4. Building a culture of feedback. As the first citizen of Vanchi, one thing I am proud to see is our people becoming habitual in giving feedback. In Vanchi, we made feedback extremely easy through the Comment Anywhere feature. Citizens use the system continuously to provide feedback on both physical and digital infrastructure. Every piece of feedback appears live on a public digital board. If the issue relates to the physical world, it appears as a red exclamation mark over the Vanchi city map. There is always new feedback arriving, which is why we maintain a dedicated team solely responsible for receiving and organizing feedback. 5. Structured feedback instead of complaints. The feedback system in Vanchi is not filled with random shouting or emotional complaints. Citizens are encouraged to explain what the problem is, why it is a problem, what they believe is the best possible solution. We encourage people to elaborate in as much detail as necessary. Since many people may report the same issue, feedback entries are grouped together and summarized with key points. This allows future contributors to avoid repetition and instead contribute only new information or perspectives. The quality of feedback has become so detailed and actionable that departments often no longer need lengthy troubleshooting. They can directly generate job requests to resolve the issue. 6. Learning through the real world. Vanchi is not a city of digital dashboards alone. We must step outside and experience the real world directly. That is exactly what we do. Across the city, walls contain creatively designed information panels that explain problems, scientific concepts, solutions, civic responsibilities, social observations. These knowledge walls are designed to be visually appealing, easy to understand, instantly educational. These small pieces of information encourage citizens to give sensible and informed feedback. While wandering incognito across the city, I often observe people analyzing situations, educating themselves, discussing solutions, solving problems immediately. Sometimes they even request remote or in-person assistance from the locality hygiene officer to resolve issues on the spot. 7. Citizens is the subconscious government. Vanchi citizens do not stop at avoiding problems. They go one step further and solve problems even if they did not create them. Today it has become instinctive to clean a dirty bench, repair a broken light, correct misinformation on knowledge walls. By delegating small and repetitive civic responsibilities to the subconscious government, which is the common people of Vanchi, the conscious government gains the freedom to focus on larger breakthroughs for humanity. These large-scale solutions are the giant leaps that move us closer toward becoming a Type 1 civilization. 8. Inspiring humanity through big solutions. Across Vanchi, you can see representations of the ambitious solutions we are working toward. For example, we are actively developing conceptual blueprints for a space elevator. We have not yet mastered the required technology. However, in Thasam Nagar, we have already constructed a mock station that realistically represents what such a transportation hub could look like in the future. The purpose is inspiration. When creative minds see these structures, they begin thinking about them not as fantasy, but as realistic objectives worth solving. 9. The 4Es cultural framework. In Vanchi, we do not want people solving problems alone. We want people collaborating as organized teams. That is why we promote the cultural framework known as the 4Es. In schools, children are taught to explore, experience, observe. They are encouraged to understand the world around them, identify the problems humanity faces, and think critically about possible solutions. Classroom discussions are centered around solving real-world problems. The goal is to develop curiosity, responsibility, critical thinking, a call for action. Children naturally begin suggesting solutions. From there, they begin educating themselves in areas that may help solve those problems. 10. Understanding the 4Es journey. The 4Es framework works in the following sequence. 1. Educate. First, educate yourself deeply about the problem you want to solve. 2. Employ. Then become an employee in an organization actively working on solving that problem. Learn how the system works from within. 3. Employer. Once you gain experience and develop your own perspective, build your own organization and team to solve the problem better. 4. Expert. Once your company can function successfully without your constant involvement, step away from management and remain only as an expert. At this stage, you return to being a student once again, continuously learning and solving new problems, only now at a much faster pace. 11. Removing inferiority complex. This is the mindset we want every citizen of Vanchi to develop. One thing we do not want any Vanchian to possess is an inferiority complex. Some people believe they are not intelligent enough to hold important positions or build organizations. To them, I say this. The human mind is extremely programmable. There is very little you cannot achieve if you truly dedicate yourself to learning and growth. The Vanchi government will provide knowledge, tools, guidance, systems, opportunities to help make that growth possible. 12. Citizens decide the direction of the city. Ideally, the government should function only as a catalyst. The true direction of the city must be decided by its citizens. That is why we developed the online voting app. One of the habits we are proud to see developing is informed voting. Citizens are not simply selecting answers randomly. They read supporting information, analyze the issue, think critically, submit their reasoning alongside their vote. Votes without proper reasoning are not counted. We also track copied responses. If reasoning appears duplicated, that vote becomes invalid. The purpose is not just participation, but intelligent participation. 13. Productivity through micro-actions. Activities such as giving feedback, voting, educating yourself, helping others, are examples of micro-activities of productivity. These should not feel like burdens that consume conscious effort. Instead, they should become instinctive behaviors performed naturally during idle moments. If designed correctly, civic responsibility does not feel exhausting. It simply becomes part of daily life. 14. The philosophy of money in Vanchi. Another important habit we want citizens to develop is the correct understanding of money. In Vanchi, money is viewed as a token of appreciation for doing the right thing. Whether through professional work, educational contributions, volunteering, innovation, being paid means you added value to society. Similarly, when you spend money on a product or service, it should represent appreciation for another person's effort and contribution. That is why Vanchi primarily offers business loans rather than personal consumption loans. A good business creates long-term value for society. Eventually, the business repays the loan, not the individual. 15. Functional games and simulators. Another thing we strongly encourage in Vanchi is gaming, both physical and digital. This is because games in Vanchi are functional. Examples include segregation games for waste segregation, repair races for automobile repair, diagnosis battles for medical diagnostics. Digital games are often open play life simulators. By open play, we mean players are not restricted only to pre-coded actions. If a player wishes to perform an activity beyond the game's programmed scope, they can request it. An AI system then analyzes the request, determines whether it is acceptable, generates the required mechanics, implements the feature in real time. Our largest platform is the Universe Simulator, which contains sub-simulators such as Business Simulator, Human Body Simulator, Evolution Simulator, and many others. 16. Designing systems that encourage value addition. In Vanchi, every permitted activity must add value to society. If an activity is allowed, it is because it serves a constructive purpose. Activities driven by greed, exploitation, or criminality are not permitted. If a citizen unintentionally performs an action that harms society, our first instinct is not punishment. Instead, the system adapts itself to reduce the chances of that mistake happening again. 17. Building habits through collective influence. Developing good habits takes time and effort. Fortunately, humans are naturally good at mimicking one another. That is why we have deployed a change-driving force across the city, teams and systems designed specifically to help citizens adapt to positive change. With every passing day, we will continue building better habits together. Till then, good night.